So a few of you asked this, and it's kind of a funny response, so I wanted to do a video. And I'm also multitasking.
Hey guys, how is it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is going to be the last voiceover for a little bit. We'll all be pleased to know I really do miss doing face-to-face, but now obviously it's a bit difficult. You can't really film face-to-face over the weekend when you got kids running around. You just can't really do it, and then you're the only one here and you're in a really small space. It's just not going to work. So tomorrow, I promise you, we've got a new topic of conversation and you'll be able to see my face, okay? So until that point, I have got a couple of Dougherty dozen updates, I suppose, 2 or 3 different updates. So I'm just going to get straight into it. It's probably be quite a short one, but I just want to tell you guys what I found out today, I suppose. Now, do we all remember this post? I talked about it the last week, I think, or early on this week, where someone had basically reached out to Fetch Rewards and asked them, hey, are you doing anything with Alicia? Are you partnering with her? Whoever, whatever, because I've spoken about it before where she has all of a sudden bought a load of things from, I don't know, like Costco or wherever she's going. She'll buy a load of things and then she then goes onto her little Fetch Rewards app. Now, it does say in her things, it says paid for promotion. So one would think that she is being paid to do this and that. Now, the makeover, was it the nursery, the playroom makeover? I am really struggling today. I'm so tired. I think it was the playroom makeover where she basically got her youngest to do like a fake surprise thing. It was a bit cringy. We could all tell it wasn't real. It was just too much. Anyway, under that thing, she then starts banging on about Fetch Rewards. And I was wondering, I was like, okay, well, obviously it's a paid partnership, but then someone then reached out to them, which I'm not saying is what we should all be doing. That's not it at all. I never said that. I'm just saying what has already been put out there into the universe. Someone had reached out and they turned around and they said, no, we have never done that. And basically, were they implying that they don't really do that with other creators? I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's all a little bit weird. So a lifestyle creator who has decided to remain anonymous, because we all know exactly what Alicia's like with other people and other creators. She gets a little claws out. She turned around and she said, hi there, saw your video on Fetch. She absolutely is doing a paid partnership. I also have worked with Fetch through an agency. It's required if you're getting paid to choose paid partnership and use a sound that's royalty free, and that sound is. She definitely got paid with that playroom, just to let you know. If you're not working with a company and getting money to post, you do not have to choose paid partnership. Check the Fetch site to see if they linked both. And then she basically went on and said, yeah, she thinks it's an ad because it has ad and all of that. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that somewhere, someone is not telling the truth, and I don't know who it is, and I'm not throwing accusations either way. I just thought I would share it with you guys because I literally did a whole video all about it, and then people in the comment section were quite split. Some people were saying, no, it's still not quite right because I have Fetch Rewards and I don't have a whole like personalized handle, which she does. It says like Dougherty, Alicia Dougherty, Dougherty doesn't, whatever. That's like her promo code. And then other people were saying, no, it's because she's basically promoting her own thing, so she can put that. But all I'm going to say is that people reached out to Fetch. They said, no, we've never done anything. And then, I'm getting messages saying, well, we've done stuff with them and this is what happened with us. So somewhere someone isn't telling the truth, and I don't know who it is. So the next bit of information that I got for you is just so random, but I love it. It's just, the last thing I mentioned was bloody random, but just to touch on this whole who is telling the truth, what is happening. We love to talk about the preparing of the breakfast meals. Do they eat it? Do they not? I don't know. Well, there's so many other things. I do get that. There are so many different things to talk about in terms of like child exploitation, her making her kids work for her kids like literally being under management. There's just so many other things. I am well aware that sometimes it's nice just to look a little bit on surface at the content, such as the shopping, such as the ridiculous breakfast preparing thing. And there's always this running joke / seriousness in some cases of, are the kids actually eating the food that she is lovingly preparing? Whether or not you think it's lovingly preparing, that Clockgate was already busted, but we know she gets up before 6, all right, or at least before 7. I don't care, whatever. But what I'm trying to say is that there's always been this overriding theme of, are the kids actually eating all the food that she's preparing? Because a lot of it looks like it will just go cold, because we've seen her morning routines. Like, she wakes the kids up and the kids barely eat any other food, and then they're out the door. Like, some of them literally wake up half an hour before they have to leave. So at what point are they supposed to be eating this bloody 4-course breakfast meal? Who really knows? Anyway, so I watched the latest it was like she was preparing a breakfast buffet basically for one of her kids, and I thought, oh, it's just like, I watched some of it. I couldn't watch all of it because there wasn't really a lot of dialogue, and I'm in it for the dialogue. And then I had a little look on the Reddit thread, and by gosh, you know what? Hats off to you guys, because I would never have even clocked this. But take a little look at this. If you have seen this vlog, you'll know that for the entire time she was making breakfast in a manic state, her hair was tied back and no makeup. Then less than 10 minutes after finishing, she poses for the thumbnail, all glammed up. Meanwhile, all the food sits uncovered, going cold as usual for at least another 20 minutes after this photo. Why does she bother doing a breakfast if it always has to be reheated after? Now, what I will say is that it looks like she has one of her pink signature lips on. Her hair is obviously down. But what I was really looking at to really gauge this was the clock. So it says 20 minutes past 6 on that clock. And I've got a little clip of literally when she finishes. And you know, you're right. This is the clip in which she ends it. And the timing.
Okay. Other than donuts, breakfast is done. Thank you for making breakfast with me. You're strong, you're beautiful, you're loved, you belong, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh God, I'm so sorry about dragging you guys down this garden path. I feel like it's Clockgate all over again. But quite seriously, I know it's only 10 minutes, whatever. She then take the thumbnail. But who knows how many takes that thumbnail took? I get that one thing is covered, I'm not quite sure. Also, because I didn't watch the entirety of this, because it was a little bit more boring than usual, I don't know if any of the kids wake up sometimes in her morning thing. Some of the kids wake up and start sort of bumbling around. I don't know if it was a school day, so were the kids needing to get up for school? Because we do see that Alicia goes around and wakes them up. And that's obviously a bit of a process. And they usually come and eat their food after they're dressed. So my whole point that I'm trying to make, right, and I only know this just because I've watched enough of her morning routines, but just judging on that, so the food sat 10 minutes later, so that's 10 minutes for the thumbnail. She could be going around waking the kids up and stuff. So, it could be literally sat there for a whole hour. I'm not exaggerating. The time's 20 past 6. It could literally, it's already been sat there for 10 minutes while she's got to do the thumbnail. How much longer is it going to be? It could literally be there for half an hour to an hour later, and a lot of that food isn't covered, and it's going to get really cold. And the thing is, there's such a thing as reheating, but the thing is that one of her main attractions is obviously getting up ridiculously early and cooking all this food, but she probably doesn't really need to. Or are they even eating it? Because the food is going to go cold. So why not just wake up when the kids are going to be up? Because you've already just proven that you're leaving it sit for 10 minutes. Anyway, I'm the kind of person that if I'm making food like that, if I'm making that much food for a family and whatnot, I want them to actually eat it when it's hot. I don't want to be faffing around reheating. And we all know that she spends all the time running around. So it's just the fact that I'm just not convinced. I'm not convinced that, and I know everyone always says it about making all the different food and stuff, but it really is just going to sit there and get cold. What's the point in reheating it? This whole thing doesn't really make a lot of sense. But honestly, bravo to whoever cottoned onto that, because I honestly wouldn't have even noticed. I just don't really pay a lot. Maybe I just don't pay as much attention as I should. But I thought maybe you guys would be interested in that, because I've always been a bit nobody would. I don't ever think that anyone would cook that amount of food and then just sort of let it go to waste. And I know there's such thing as reheating. I've already said this, but you get the idea.
Hi, so a few of you asked this, and it's kind of a funny response, so I wanted to do a video. And I'm also multitasking.
This video honestly gave me shivers because at one point, I'll play it to you again just in a minute, but when she's doing that little introduction, you can clearly see that she's actually driving the vehicle, and the camera, sort of like the phone, kind of like comes back on her. Is she holding it while she's driving? I know this may sound silly because you wouldn't think anyone would do that, but it looks like the phone sort of came back and went too close, as if it was sort of falling on her. The way that it's held, it's not steady. It looks like it's being held in maybe the center console of the wheel or something, but it doesn't look anchored. Why are you driving around filming? This is quite old, but and we know what she's like with technology as well. Like, I wouldn't put it past her to literally hold this and drive. Anyway, it's not all about that. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Like, I hope she hasn't got any kids in that car, because this is really, really dangerous. She's driving along whilst whatever. I know a lot of people obviously film, but they have it mounted, but this doesn't look like it's mounted in any which way. Anyway, what I actually wanted to talk about was what she said in response to someone asking her, what do you do for work? And I think this was before they became really, really big. Like really, really big.
Hi, so a few of you asked this, and it's kind of a funny response, so I wanted to do a video, and I'm also multitasking. So when I was a little girl and people would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I always said I wanted to be a maid and a babysitter. Well, when I got to graduation, my parents were like, you should get your college degree. It's good for you. So I went ahead and got it. Got a teaching degree, dual cert, special ed, and elementary education. Year into teaching, absolutely hated it. Quit. I am now a maid and a babysitter.
Now, I'm not here like snarking on, oh, she only did it for a year, she didn't got college, because truth be told, I know so many people who went to we call it uni over here, went to university and did something, thought that was what they wanted to do, actually went and got a job, freaking hated it, because I feel like uni and college, it prepares you, but it's not until you actually finish it, or some people realize it a little bit way through their course and they're like, I don't want to do this. But I'm not taking the piss out of that. Like, Lord only knows the amount of people, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. I just found it really interesting because people are always saying like, oh, she was a special ed teacher, and like, I do wonder if she'd have like pursued being a special ed teacher, would she have gotten into the YouTube fame stardom that she has right now? Like, would she have enough time to be able to do it? I think then she said she wanted to be a cleaning lady, which is all well and good. I actually did some cleaning. I've had some cleaning work in my past. I've had all sorts of jobs, so it's nothing to do with that. I just wanted to bring attention to the fact that like, would she still, do we think she would have gone into this had she have like stuck with doing a special ed? Because I think Josh is a special ed teacher, isn't he? He actually teaches some of the kids, which I do find a little bit strange. I thought that your family members couldn't really teach you, or it was like a conflict of interest or whatever, but who knows? I know nothing about the topic, so I just thought I'd bring that to you, because every so often I come across these old TikToks that Alicia has done, and I'm just so blown away. Like, there was that one with the whole food thing, and you can't feed kids like with FAS, like you can't feed them loads of sugar and like carbohydrates and like high glycogen food and all of that. And now it's like 2 years later, and now we've now gone full circle. Do you know what I mean? So, and people keep on dissecting loads of these kind of videos, but what I will say is, do not do that again with the whole filming and the driving thing, because that really did scare me, I won't lie. Anyway, everyone, I'm gonna head off now. I'm always having to do these recordings after the kids are in bed, literally head underneath a great big blanket, just to try and get a good-ish sound quality. So I hope it sounds okay. But I'm doing face-to-face recording next video, and it's all going to be fun. I've got a brand new topic of conversation, which I love it. I'm always slightly apprehensive about it because, oh, Lord knows, sometimes when I cover new people, those fans go absolutely savage on me. Like, honestly, if you want to go make yourself laugh, head on over to that Not Enough Nelson video that I did, where I was comparing them to the Dougherty dozen. If you dare, their 8-year-old army are after me big time. So it's always a little bit of a weird one. Anyway, so that's going to come out on Monday. This has come out on a Sunday, I think, if I've got all my time schedules right. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.
Other than donuts, breakfast is done. Thank you for making breakfast with me.